I got 5 children, 15 years old, the youngest 10 months, 2 wives.
I love Malaysia.
But so much at stake. So much at stake. So, but this year I made a resolution to myself. After 3 years, I think I have explored all avenues. I think you ask people in Kekal, you ask people in ST, you ask people in some in EPU, they know me for what I'm being fighting for. So I think I have explored all avenues, almost all. I can do almost all. Door being kept closed. Door being kept closed. At some point I was threatened to be sued. So today I want to share with you something. I'm against nuclear because not because I have no knowledge about nuclear, because all the benefits. I know a lot of benefits from nuclear, healthcare, everything and so on. But for power, I'm against it because of what? Because I know that for the fact that the government know the options, they know they have other options. They know it. They know it. I know it. He know it. They have studied. They spend so much money to study, prepare the numbers and so on. There are solutions. There are options. Okay, there are options.
Options to what?
Option other than nuclear. Other than nuclear. Because we have to be realistic. We need power, right? We need power. I don't say that forever we don't need nuclear. It's not realistic. But not now. I agree with you. I want it to be 50 years below. Because I know for the fact that it was tabled in the parliament. It was mentioned in the parliament. It was mentioned in many seminars from the agency themselves. By having just a 10-year program on energy efficiency, 10-year program, with only money required from government less than 1 billion for average 100 million per year, we can avoid the capacity of at least 3 gigawatt of power demand. So equivalent to 3 nuclear power plants, just 10 years. And it will save the government roughly about 3 more billion in terms of subsidy and so on and so on. Just less than 1 billion in 10 years. Alright? You can learn. But they ignored that. As for now, they ignored that. That's my first argument why I'm against the nuclear, because we have the option, we ignore the options. And one more thing about, in the power sector, they got two areas. One, supply side. One, demand side. Malaysia has been very good in the supply side. We are recognized in the world, one of the best countries in the world in supplying the energy. Our electrification factor rate in the peninsula above 95%. Sabah, Sarawak more than 85%. Quite high in terms of electrification. But in the demand side, how we use energy? Yes, you are right. Don't be embarrassed. We are among the worst country in the world in using it. In ASEAN, we are equivalent to Timor-Leste in terms of policy. We are among few countries in these regions don't have energy efficiency policy. So we are good in supplying, we are poor in using it, and we do nothing about it. We are doing nothing about it. So that's my argument. So I got 5 children, I got 2 wives. I just 40 this year. I hope to live another 30 years healthily. So nuclear is no for me, because we have options. Okay? One day we have no longer options. We have to be realistic. We have to accept it. But now we have it. So we have to make these changes. If we don't, no one will. Because I met many policymakers out there. They said, Zaini, you must make the government look good all the time. Would you agree with that? No. Because that's not right. Right? So, thank you very much for giving the opportunity. We must do something. We must stop this, because we have options. Believe me, I have the facts. I have the facts. Okay? I can share that with you. Some I can't, some I can. Because if I share some, I go OSA.
Ada lagi lah, OSA.
Alright.
Lagi tak?
OSA.
OSA. Masih usia.
Because I gained it when I was in the government. I have to be fair. I got 5 children, you know.
Oh, I
Okay,
think
but today I think you know you inspired me. He inspired me. He just 36 years old, right? Roughly. 34. So 24, right? 24. Sorry. So if we can held our hand together, you know, you can at least one day I can answer to my children, to my God, you know, God, I've done something. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Encik Zaini. Satu perkongsian yang baik dan banyak. Jadi kalau kita dengar daripada Encik Zaini tadi, dia setuju we are among the worst in ASEAN in energy use. Kita banyak membazir bahasa senang dia membazir. Kita tak guna. So, can I ask him a question? Yes, you can.
Yeah, I'd like to ask you a question. You've given me those good reasons why we shouldn't have the nuclear option. And you say it is not necessary. And these are facts that were known to the government and policymakers. But why do they opt for nuclear power instead of following energy efficiency and all the other suggestions you made? What is the reason for this? Why have they made this choice then? When it seems quite clear that they shouldn't do this.
It's a dangerous question.
Dia bakat dah. To be honest, Dato', I wish I can.
I think we should all be honest, actually, including the government.
I wish, to be honest with you, I wish I can answer that because I don't know. Because I give all the justifications why it is so good. I give the economic assessment, social impact. Alright, I show all the success story in any other country. Thailand, for example, in 1957, my friend from Thailand came here to listen about EE in the country. We were together learning. After how many years? Almost 20 years. Now we are calling them to learn from them. Okay, Thailand got target 2050. 25% reduction of energy consumption. We still do nothing. Okay, I don't know the answer, Dato', to be honest with you. We give all justifications, you know, but I guess this is my own. I can be wrong, you know. It doesn't matter Africa, but I have a strong reason to feel that way. Because EE is a game for everyone. If you want to do EE, you can start now, right? You go back home, you can do now. If you want to buy aircon, a 5-star aircon, you can buy it now, right? Tomorrow when the shop open.
No GST yet.
Yes. Until May. Okay. But if you're talking about supply side, game of few, which one is easier to control? You know, the 7 million registered users, domestic users, or a few licensees? You know the answer, right? So we are difficult to control because we have more way to do things, we have more freedoms, you know. But finally we got the same result. But this supply side, few people to be played around, right? So easily can be what? You know, in Malaysia, regulators and licensee are buddies, right? They are buddies. So where you can tell me that I have to believe in transparency? Give me one reason why should I believe in that? Okay, so we are still suffering from the IPP deal, first 5 IPP. Are we going to suffer for more? Right? So that's so I don't know the answer, Dato'. I'm puzzling. I can't sleep thinking about it. That's why I have to leave the government. They don't, because they feel that they have the power. They can do that. Simple as that. Okay.
I think the answer really is the government believes that it doesn't need to be accountable to the people of this country.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Yes, yes, thank you.
It is an unaccountable government.
Yes.
And really the solution is staring us in the face.
Yep, okay, G is for you to come. Yeah, G is for you to come, don't worry.
I think if I be allowed to give a little bit here, like I said earlier, when Dr. Rajendra Pachauri came in, I made the cheeky remark that nuclear power plant is sexy because there's plenty of money to be made in it, in construction and others. And today, I would say I oppose nuclear power plant because it seems to be a question of crony capitalism, and that is something I would not agree with. But if 20 years from now, or 15 years from now, we need nuclear power plant which is done in a rational way, then I would be supportive of it. Now, I have said, accountability, as you say, accountability doesn't exist. And that too, I don't know whether you remember 5 years ago, at the SETDEM seminar on nuclear, when Dr. Sri Kekal was being questioned by your son, what if the government wants nuclear and the public doesn't want nuclear? I was sitting beside YB Teresa Kok, I said change the government. And she laughed on that, said that's a good idea.
Dr. Zaini.
No doctor, no doctor.
Oh, no, doctor, okay. Pasal itulah, you say save government money. Government want to save 100 million ke? Save 100 million, that means too little. You are trying to save riot money. You have good heart, you want to save riot money. But for the politician, he say capitalist communism, you know. They want to make it 10 billion, I mean, nuclear power plant, you know, 20 billion. Make it dia besar. Barulah sedap, you know. Itu dia ni communism lah. Tapi I also very worried. I feel that we are experiencing more and more environmental racism, you know. You can see like hydropower plant, they take land away from the orang asli ulu, orang ulu, you know, they don't care. And then sekarang kat apa-apa itu virgin forest, what's virgin negara kan? To hutan negara, tropical, untuk simpan radioactive waste. My God, you know, this is absolute environmental racism. I told orang asli people, I said, oh, itu okay lah. I say you go with there and stay there, but you see there's a sign there tembak dari belakang.
Okey, saya tak pasti macam mana nak ngelak daripada perbincangan kroni kapitalism ya. Bincang semua isu keluar kroni kapitalism. Anyway, isu bantahan nombor 4 tidak diperlukan. Jadi Cik Zaini tadi dah berkongsi dengan kita 1 bilion ringgit untuk 10 tahun, setiap tahun 100 juta perbelanjaan untuk EE, energy efficiency, boleh mengurangkan 3 gigawatt. Saya kira tadi 6 gigawatt, tapi Cik Zaini kata 3 gigawatt sepanjang 10 tahun. Maksudnya tidak perlukan 3 loji. Kita nak buat 2 loji. Easily dah tak perlu, just by EE sahaja. Belum kita cerita tenaga boleh diperbaharui, belum kita cerita tambah-tambah sumber yang lain. Dan kita juga ada plan untuk tenaga-tenaga daripada sumber yang lain. Dan just EE alone kita dah boleh jimat, dah boleh turunkan penggunaan tenaga 30%. Hanya 1 bilion ringgit dalam masa 10 tahun. Berapa kos nak buat 2 biji nuklear yang dirancang oleh government? 21.3 bilion. So 1 bilion, so tak nak spend. So Aman akan make sure, kita akan make sure we will meet all MPs and make sure the government will spend this 1 billion ringgit. Semua dalam forum ni boleh setuju tak? Yang pro nuklear pun takkan tak setuju. Spend 1 billion to reduce the wastage of electricity dekat Malaysia. Para hadirin boleh setuju tak? Saya nak dengar suara sikit. Thank you very much. So I would like to ask Dr. McCoy to share a bit quick one. Do we need nuclear for electricity?
The answer is no.
That's a very quick one. Okay. So kita dasar pertama tidak murah. Dasar kedua tidak selamat. Dasar ketiga tidak bersih. Dasar keempat tidak diperlukan. Apa bantahan kelima? Dasar bantahan kelima, we are saying that everywhere around the world except for China, the nuclear plant, Loji nuklear, pembinaan Loji nuklear is going down. Everywhere, the renewable energy efficiency is going up. So kenapa kita mengambil langkah mundur untuk go for nuclear? So I would like to invite Dr. McCoy to share us his thoughts. Everywhere around the world, people shying away from nuclear and going for RE and energy efficiency. Why are we doing something regressive? Dr. McCoy.
I suppose the answer to that would be have a regressive government. To answer your question.
Sorry, Mike.
But,
Mike.
I think it's okay, it's Jerry Down. Okay. But, you know, as we've just heard from Mr. Zaini over there, he doesn't know why the decision was made to go nuclear. And I can only assume that somebody is going to benefit from this whole enterprise. I mean, why else would you build a nuclear power plant when you were advised that you don't need it, and maybe you shouldn't build one, but they say, no, we're going to build one. So there must be something beneficial about this. And I can only think that it's a very costly enterprise, and we know that we have a lot of costly enterprises in this country, some of them completely unnecessary, and we know that a lot of people make big profits out of the enterprises. So as far as I can see, this is just another good example of what happens in this government. Decisions are made illogically, for no good reason, for the benefit of a few politicians and cronies. I mean, that is a sad fact of this country. And it's something that we have to face up to. That's why I say, the only answer, the only solution that we have as a nation is to change this government. I'm sorry, there is no other way. In fact, I'm not sorry.
Jadi saya ulang lagi, we will do the best. Aman will do our best to convey the discussion and bring this matter forward to everybody. We will meet everybody, anybody who is willing to meet Aman, to tell them that we don't need nuclear because of all this basis of objection. Jadi saya nak bergerak ke dasar bantahan ke-6.
Can I say something?
Yes.
I find this very interesting. There's some kind of legacy here, legacy, cronyism legacy. I remember when I was commenting after three weeks, well, I was arrested for what they call campaigning on the Papan Putih Merah and also Bakun Dam, because we questioned them, why do you need Bakun Dam? It was $13.6 billion then, and you know who got the contract. I will give you 500 ringgit, you can tell me the answer. Which company? And at the time we questioned them, why, exactly like Dr. Ajit Zaini, we don't need them. Okay, 1980s, we are in like recession, 85. They say we must build for the future, okay, build for the future. But we are experiencing negative growth, okay. So the SB questioned me, why are you against Bakun Dam? You are environmentalist, why are you against Bakun Dam? I say, we don't see any reason. We don't see any reason other than, somebody's going to make a lot of money. And then they say, oh, we'll build a long wire from Sarawak to Malaysia. But today, where? Now, siapa yang mempunyai Bakun Dam sekarang? Who is having a last laugh, So you can see how much money they spent from I think MOF, Ministry of Finance, to later I think it's SMW, isn't it? Many companies involved, and then eventually siapa yang mempunyai Menteri Besar Sarawak yang baru lepas saja. Okay, so they learn from them. Now last time was 13.6 billion, and they projecting future. So now you ask question why we need, that.
And it's only 800 megawatt and it's in Sarawak.
Yes, only 800 megawatt. So they like to make it big, so they leave behind legacy, maybe white elephant.
Terima kasih. Saya dapat pesanan-pesanan daripada NJK di belakang untuk memberitahu ada tabung derma tabung derma jika siapa-siapa ingin menyumbang kepada Aman boleh menyumbang. Ada jual t-shirt di belakang t-shirt Aman yang seksi ni RM25. Dan jadi siapa ingin membeli t-shirt nanti boleh ke belakang, and make sure jangan lupa isi kedatangan. Nanti kita akan hantar email maklumat dan sebaran umum. Dan juga kalau siapa yang ingin mendaftar menjadi aktivis juga, ada borang pendaftaran di belakang. Anybody can join. And jika ada nuclear scientist pun boleh join. Very interesting. So we can share everything that we have. So dasar bantahan ke-6, jika Malaysia memilih untuk membuat loji nuklear, so kita akan bergantung teknologi energy dependency, teknologi dependency dengan tenaga pakar, dan juga kita akan menghadapi isu security of supply fuel, uranium fuel. So adakah itu satu isu? Itu satu isu. Ramai akan argue, oh kita dah ada berapa ramai graduan nuklear kan, nuklear scientist, tak sure lah. Nuclear energy engineers, nuclear engineer, macam mana pernahkah mereka kerja di kilang, di reactor? Do we have the experts, local experts? Do we have the local experts? And source of uranium pula bagaimana? Adakah kita akan bergantung harap dan dikontrol oleh mereka-mereka yang supply uranium? Because our source of energy at this point of time semua barang-barang fuel yang we have locally or is abundant. So uranium tak banyak. So saya nak tanya pendapat Prof. Dr. Kekal.
I think supply issue I think is kind of uncertain because I think what is certain, I think to my surprise, actually I didn't like this very much. The supply of oil and gas is increasing, surprisingly, especially now you see in US the shale gas and oil is so much, okay. And satu lagi, ada kemungkinan nanti kecekapan Loji coal power plant, gas power plant increase, the efficiency may increase in future because we are now operating a very low efficiency. Our coal power plant, gas power cycle plant, 30% or so. You may go up to 50%. You kena percaya saya sebab saya expert thermodynamics. I'm teaching thermodynamics. So this is a challenge we face. Okay. Satu lagi, I think uranium sebab dia satu supply yang strategik. So dia mungkin akan menimbulkan isu, politik, politik. Dan ada lagi macam Jepun, dia hantar dia punya spent fuel ke England untuk reprocessing lah. Ada kemungkinan dia ni wujudkan. Tapi dari segi supply sekarang, I think banyak uncertainty lah, banyak uncertainty.
So untuk mengejar masa dan memberi ruang untuk menjawab Q&A, kita pergi ke dasar bantahan ke-7.
I think we have to be pragmatic. As I said, question everything, and let's give you the web links that you can get on. The question of nuclear power, especially uranium, is now a worldwide cartel. It's controlled, and supply, reprocessing is all under the same agency. So we are always dependent upon that source. But we are also dependent on external sources for our gas and coal, because we have already passed the gas peak and we are importing gas for our use. But we are not using it efficiently. And I think in terms of thermal efficiencies, we have to be a bit more realistic. I think you had some wrong figures when you say 30%, because coal power plants have a net efficiency of about 36 to 38%, ultra-critical coming out to over 40%. So there's a slight improvement in terms of efficiency, but coal emits a lot of greenhouse gases. Now, the issue is, what do we require? We require energy. Of course, people talk of carbon capture and storage, now sequestration. As I said, I question everything, and I had the opportunity to talk to a friend of mine who is with the company that was given a contract to build an 800 something megawatt power plant, out of which about 350 megawatts carbon capture. This was about 4 years ago. 2 years ago when I asked them, they said, well, not only the carbon capture has been wiped out, the coal plant itself has been wiped out because in the energy efficiency, the country that wanted the plant doesn't need it anymore. So as Zaini mentioned, we can do a lot through energy efficiency, but we must be a bit pragmatic on efficiencies of power plant. There's a technology development. Paka power plant has a design efficiency of 46% as combined cycle. PD power and the new prime power will be 60%. So you have an immediate 1/3 improvement in efficiency for the energy from the supply side. But demand side, no. And as Zaini was saying, he doesn't know why the government wants this. I think I said clearly, it's a question of it's very sexy because there's lots of money to be made in it. And as Dr. McCoy mentioned, if we need to change, the government wants nuclear, the public wants nuclear, change the government. Now, that is my stand as far as nuclear requirements concerned today, because I believe it is not because of need, but because of other extraneous reasons, hidden agendas. Thank you.
Just correct you. When I say 30%, that's a low end. Okay, that's a low end. In fact, we are talking about 30 to 40%. And then you look at average, the plant life, it declined, the efficiency declined. So, they would have to reinvest. You see, they have to reinvest. But I look forward to a higher efficiency. Actually, they are what they call company trying to sell the idea of higher efficiency, but not without cost.
But can I add, Prof. Lanchat, just now, when you say coal, etc., hydro, well, there is something we call cost benefit analysis, right? We have to weigh all the costs, all the benefit kan. Kita kalau nak pilih, nak pergi nuklear ke, nak buat coal ke, nak hydro ke, nak renewable energy ke, nak EE ke yang 1 bilion yang tak seksi dan murah dan sangat berbaloi tadi kan. So we have to weigh all the costs and benefits. So that's why we have to look at everything and come with the research, with the numbers, and come with the best solution for Malaysia. Perlu diingat perbincangan ini is pembinaan loji nuklear di Malaysia. So when kita bincang benda ni, always remember it's in Malaysia. Nak buat kat mana, nak letak kat mana. Malaysia besar mana? Besar ni je kan. So where do you want to put this plant? Putrajaya is a good suggestion sebab infrastruktur di Putrajaya is the latest. There is a recently built location. They have a very big lake. Okay, so it's one of the best place to build that actually. Kalau nak nuclear scientist can correct me if I'm wrong. So we go for dasar nombor 7. So yes,
and I think the reason why there is so much ignorance about this whole concept, this whole project of a nuclear power plant, is that we have not had a genuine debate in Parliament. I mean, Parliament never debates anything because they just haven't got, the opposition hasn't got a chance to debate, as you would say in Britain. They don't have debates there in Parliament. That's one thing. And they have never had a meaningful consultation with the people of this country. The government doesn't talk to us, So this is really a problem that we have. And of course, there are other reasons why we should change the government. And I think the other fundamental thing about this government, it is a race-based party government. And the way this country is going now, we're having so many divisions about race and religion. And we must go to politics which is not based on race.
I think we need a referendum on this.
that's among the plan. Okay, number 7, nombor 7 Okay, just quick one quiz sebab dapat poster free semua kan. Dasar bantahan nombor 1 tidak murah. Nombor 2 tidak selamat. Nombor 3 tidak bersih. Nombor 4 tidak diperlukan. Ini bukan sesi indoktrinasi Saya sebut 10 kali bukan nak indoktrinasi Cuma nak bagi ingat mengapa Aman reject Loji nuklear di Malaysia. Nombor 7. Dr. McCoy, this question is for you. Because he has been doing against nuclear weapon for the past, I don't know, 40 years, 30 years?
Long time.
Long time. I was not even born at that time. I'm only 24. So, Loji Nuclear, the byproduct of Loji Nuclear is apparently plutonium, which can be used as a nuclear weapon. Tapi Malaysia is against nuclear weapon. So, in a way, dia macam, we have a nuclear power plant, we will produce a product that can be refined for weapon. And in fact, kita akan supply balik the by-end product. Dalam proses supply balik pun, geng-geng Abu Sayyaf mungkin boleh tangkap dan buat bom. But you get what I mean. So then we're talking about transportation, security, terrorists can take it and make it a nuclear weapon. So we are providing a refined product that can be used as a nuclear weapon. Correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. McCoy, can you assist?
Yes, I mean, one of the byproducts is plutonium, which lasts, as I said, 240 centuries. But I feel confident, with reasonably good reason, why even if we do have a nuclear power plant and we do have plutonium and other fissile material, I don't believe that the Malaysian government, the present government and future governments, I think, will ever produce nuclear weapons. I just don't believe it, because I think it has never been something that we looked at any time in our history, as some other smaller countries have done. And so I feel confident that even if we do have a nuclear power plant, the security problem of nuclear weapons proliferation, I think, won't exist in this country. I hope I'm right. But I feel confident that we will not become a nuclear weapon state. And we have taken a very, very strong position for many years for nuclear disarmament. And I somehow don't see this changing. But that's not a good reason why we should have a nuclear power plant.
I think, as I mentioned, nuclear fuel source is a cartel under control. So any provision and retake of the plutonium will be under the same control. There will never be provision for any quantity of plutonium to be built up for armaments, and in any case, there will be regular checks by international experts from the IAEA on these issues. So I agree with Dato', Malaysia is not interested in weapons and doesn't need weapons. But if you go to thorium instead of uranium, there's no question of weapons-grade radiative material being available anyway. Now, one other thing that I would like to mention here, I had a difference of opinion with the TNB CEO many years ago when they said, why don't we move energy-intensive industries away from the peninsula to Sarawak with Bakun and other hydro? And he said, no, we have to put in a lot of infrastructure for that to happen. About 4 years later, that's about 2 years ago, at a forum that we met, he said, well, we should think about transferring the energy-intensive industries to Sarawak so that they can use the cheaper electricity, and we don't need that much energy in the peninsula. That's another option besides energy efficiency, moving away these industries.
Thank you very much. So we are going to go to the Q&A unless the panelists have anything to add anymore on the tujuh dasar bantahan. Okay.
But I can just say something like, although there are these IAEA and IRCP, all these things, but these are salesmen and manager for the nuclear industry. I mean, you look at example of Pakistan, they are able to, secretly build the.
They're not part of this control.
Yeah, you see, they are out of this. You see, and who can assure us, that like North Korea also, why they are so hard against North Korea about the nuclear issue. So, I mean, I'm not optimistic, although I think the possibility of it is kind of remote. It's kind of remote, but we never know. Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to read some of the questions. We will try to answer as best as possible. So this piece of paper, number 1, for Prof. Lalchan. You work in TNB. Rumor has it that TNB has set up a team for nuclear power generation. So TNB will definitely go for it. Okay, saya nak ulang balik Malaysia memang nak buat loji nuklear. Confirm. Everybody in this room, Malaysia memang nak buat loji nuklear. It's already in the ETT. Yang kita tak tahu kat mana. Prof. Lalchan, is it true?
As I said, LLN had a team for nuclear from the 70s. So for TNB, they had set up a team in parallel with the Malaysian Nuclear Power Corporation for nuclear power. As far as my standing goes, I do not have dealings with TNB on these issues. But if the government directs TNB to do it, TNB would have no option because it's basically a GLC, 70% plus owned by the government and under the directive of the government. Personally, I would not like to see TNB browbeaten into doing that. I would like to see if the government is transparent enough and daring enough to put this up on open bidding for an IPP to come in for nuclear power with a tariff rate that is no higher than that from gas power generation and see if there's any takers. I would think from my gut feel that there won't be any because UK, USA, there's no IPPs for nuclear power generation.
Okay, number 2 is for Anas. You said Parliament Hansard said feasibility has started and will end in 2015. 28 November Hansard just said it will end in 2015. Which Hansard said feasibility has started? I think this question answered itself. 28 November, is it? I have to go back. It's on the Aman page. It's a question from Lee Chin Tong to the Energy Minister. Yeah. So we can go back to that. Hadi will upload this one. What will be the chronic effect from ionizing radiation which is emitted from nuclear power plant? Okay.